I had to get the incense, right? You always gotta.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, my son complains about it. Yeah, I guess so. My son complains about it. He doesn't like it very much, but I like it. But anyways, what's up, Verona? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Taking out the bad energies.
Yeah, getting all the. As you know, I'm working on a new course, a new e-course for false chord, and that's a lot of work. It's taken me a long time, little sleep, but I'm blessed to be able to do the things that I like to do for a job.
Yeah.
And I know you know what it's like because you write music, you have students, you perform, you facilitate shows.
Yeah, and
so
it was a big week. I gave a masterclass last Saturday on stage presence in front of a group on the big stage. It was really fun to coach like a group, not just one-on-one. And so stage presence. And this week I was filming 2 days of shooting a music video for my new song. Yeah, a French song, but I'll share it with the Cartervox crew after.
Well,
not metal. It's
not
really
metal, and that's okay.
It's like soul retro.
Well, and that's fine. It's interesting that you say you were giving a master class on stage presence because you're not new to Spiritbox, right? Since hopping on the right, you've heard Spiritbox before, right?
Yeah, I've heard a couple of times. Yeah, like her alone. I mean, them alone, and then Courtney with Poppy and Amy Lee, like the trio song they did at the end of last year. Yeah.
And that was one of our first videos. We did Ginger, and then I think we did a Spiritbox one where I showed you Spiritbox, right?
Yeah, one of my first, yeah.
But
amazing singing voice. I don't know if she's gonna be singing in that one or just screaming. We'll see.
Have you not? Okay, so this is the Grammy performance of Soft. Yeah. Have you not heard Soft Spine before? Because I just kind of assumed that since we had listened to you. Okay, well, this will be more interesting then. For some reason,
you did. You're doing a reaction, but you heard it. Yeah.
I have heard it.
Did you hear the live version?
This one, no.
Okay.
This one, no. But I'm excited because I think Courtney has a phenomenal stage presence. I've never seen them live, but I've watched plenty of live videos, and I love her stage presence. I love her voice. I love the power and energy. I don't know how this is going to go at the Grammys, but I mean, I know it's going to go well. So I'm kind of excited
I saw her live, like the reaction videos I made. I think it was just music videos.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yeah. Not sure.
Well, because I've got a lot more e-course to film, and I know you have a lot more students.
Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it.
You've got a lot more students to tend to, so let's go ahead. It's short. It's a short song. Soft Spine, 67th annual Grammys. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
These next performers personify modern metal with intensity, precision, and emotional weight. Nominated this year for Best Metal Performance, please give a rock and roll welcome to Spiritbox.
That's the part I was waiting for.
All right.
So
woo!
I have a lot to talk about, especially because,
of course,
having been, I was like really into Spiritbox in their like early days, and then through like sort of like the middle, up through like Circle With Me and Constance, and then like I kind of fell off with them a little bit. Like they were doing stuff that I wasn't really as interested in listening. It was cool and it was good. It just wasn't my thing. And then recently, I've kind of gotten back into them. And it's interesting that Courtney's voice has changed a little bit. Now, I'll talk about that in a second. But being somebody who just did a master class on stage presence, like, what do you see? What do you notice? Because
my God, I could have used that performance to showcase so many stuff, but maybe the people in the audience would have been like a little freaked out about the music. But yeah, oh my God, I love. Okay, so first, girl crush. She's a whoo, woohoo, woohoo. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So first thing, outfit, and anyways, yeah, you cannot not look at her like, okay, the guys are great, but yeah, she just steals like the attention, but in a good way, you know. And I love that she really uses the whole stage, you know. And she looks at like parts of the audience and then little kisses at first, and then that was so great. And yeah, stage presence is amazing. She doesn't do. I had a student. We had like the stage presence masterclass was like we had 4 performers and the rest of the people were just spectators. Mm-hmm. And one of the performers, she was singing one of Evanescence song, and she was really like doing it like a musical theater. And I was talking about like rock is not musical theater. It's like you need to stay like it's intense and it's show off, but it's not as la 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 like. I don't want to say fake, but I was like, you know what I mean? Like
theatrical.
Really theatrical. Yeah, really theatrical. Yeah. So I love that would be such a great example. Like she's doing stuff that maybe you wouldn't do just in normal life, but it's still not, anyways, it's like the good, not too theatrical, but just enough and really feeling the music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
She,
really great.
As you say, girl crush. As a married man, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just listen to the music. You know what I mean? I don't even know what she looks like. Who's Courtney?
No, not me. You were like that.
Yeah, that whole time.
Sure.
But I haven't really. I was actually mostly like watching you because I wanted to see what your reaction would be. But one thing I like about Courtney is she does a lot of like open stance stuff. Right. Mm-hmm. And open stance stuff can have like a very powerful look. If you're like, if you do like you're in a photo shoot. Now, I'm not an expert on modeling or anything. These are just things I've heard and things I've noticed. But if you do a shoot like this, it's like cute. It's like thoughtful or like intellectual.
She's like, yeah.
If she's cute, I don't know anything about it. Because remember, Veronna, I'm a married man. I don't see these things. Right.
Oh, yeah. You cannot look at other women. Of course not.
I don't know what you're talking about. But like, or intellectual, like thoughtful, right? But if you're like this, your shoulders back, and she has a lot of that. So, the power in her voice is heavily accentuated by the power in her body language too. Mm-hmm. And she stomps and struts her across the stage, and it's so cool. Yep. What's interesting to me, the main thing I noticed is, so she didn't necessarily create it, but Courtney really popularized and heavily like pioneered, maybe is a good word, this mid-range, pitch heavy, or I should say true chord tone heavy false chord roar. Over time, she's really lifted into a lot of brighter, higher spaces. Like what she's doing here really could, depending on how you view Fry Screams. Fry Scream is in my mind a much larger umbrella. There's a guy here on YouTube. I had a call with him recently, Tony Linka. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. He has some excellent videos talking about the differences and types of Fry Screams and things like this. But what I'm hearing, it's super interesting. It's super fascinating. He's done like studies with like EGG and stuff. It's crazy. But what she's doing here really sounds like it could lean more into that space, or at least these higher, brighter, faster rattling distortions that often get called Fry Screams. So she's really brightened up. Part of me wonders if she's doing that to cut through the mix a little bit, but I'm not so sure. Mm-hmm. I'm interested to hear if she does reach into some of those like lower spaces. But those are some of the main things I notice.
Yeah, because she's kind of alternating with like pitch and scream, right?
Yeah.
So, and she's doing it so fast. It reminded me of flipping in clean singing. Because, I'm not a screamer, by the way. If you're new to the channel, I'm the clean singing coach here. So, it reminded me of like flipping really fast from chest voice to head voice, which is just like one cartilage. It's just the thyroid cartilage tilting, toot, 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 like real quick. So I'm like, you could maybe know like how can she do it that fast to have her pitch, and then is it squeezing in inside, or like how does she go from a like mid-high pitch to that scream that is not too low? I would say I feel it's like on the same note. Is it? I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it's so quick. Like it's probably something really simple to just shift, and flip and doop 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 when you know what you're doing. Of course, I'm saying simple. It's not.
But no, I understand what you're saying, and so one way to achieve that is actually to utilize a common technique used for clean singing, which is adding some cry, using cry to get you there, right? Okay. So you hear this a lot. Like this sound's been around for a long time. This right, that sort of thing. And you hear it, although it was delivered much differently, even in like, I remember like Enter Shikari, for anybody watching. Heavy Low was a band that he would do a lot of stuff where it's like, oh, took a train until your city met a guy I thought was pretty, right? And so you have this and then when you get that yodel wherever you're doing that flip, right?
That's the same place as clean singing flip. Interesting.
I would not be surprised if it's at least extremely similar. Yeah. Extremely similar, because when I, if I'm doing a scream that's in that, it feels really, really similar. It's like yodeling into distortion. Yeah. So, and she's really good at it. And it's now become, it's interesting. It's become a technique that you hear a lot in this sort of metalcore, progressive thal mix genre. Okay. But let's keep going because I'm interested to hear what else she does. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so now she's in more of like a center range, and you can hear like this mixture of true vocal tone and grit, right? Which some people achieve that from starting from more of a fry tone. Some people achieve that from going for more of a false chord tone. Me, of course, I'm going to go for more of a false chord tone. But it's this really nice balance, and the grit has this TV staticky sound, and she's really known for this equality or this balance of that like. That still is chunky, but is smooth at the same time.
Could you show me could you show me fry versus false chord?
No, because everybody who watches this channel, and as I've told you before, my fry screams suck. They are ass. You know that.
Because I have no idea what's the difference.
So I'm like, again, like I can show you like the starting points. Right. So if you and it's kind of tough because these are umbrellas. But a lot of like when we're talking about like beginning fry tones, right? Beginning fry tones. It's a lot of this like these sounds, which often gets confused with like actual vocal fry, which it's not. Yeah. It's not the same thing.
It's not at the same place. Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. The term fry for fry scream is like not that useful. Generally, I only take fry students if they've already got like a pretty good solid baseline down and they need something more like breath support, or they need something more like placement or endurance, right?
Okay.
A starting false chord, which again, even these days, false chord has become more of an umbrella, but this is more of like a grunt, like an and that's where that's the main thing that I teach along with some other techniques.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take this soft spine, and you can really lean into it, and it is a lot less taxing than it sounds like it should be. And her scream, the thing that I love about it is like how easy it sounds. Like look at her outfit, which I haven't seen. Right?
No.
I don't know what I got no idea. But
she's so hot.
Can you imagine? I'll take your word for it. Can you imagine? Can you imagine like trying to maintain and have like good, I can't because I've never worn anything like that. Like maintain good inhaled, worn anything like what? I don't know. Maintaining in that inhaled posture, right? Holding on to that support. Like I imagine like, because when I, common singing, all about this. When I sing, my ribs, they got to expand. But how am I going to expand in that tight thing that I have no idea about?
That means she doesn't use a lot of air.
It must. Or she's getting some expansion that we can't see. You know what I mean? The technique that she's using does tend to be a little bit more on the airflow usage heavy side. Most things that fall under the false chord umbrella use more air than any false chord scream that like I'm aware of, unless we're adding some intentional compression to it, unless we're intentionally narrowing the tissues at the top, you can't really hold it as long as you can hold like a clean tone, because it builds on more free flowing air rattling around tissues.
Yeah.
But she does hold what she holds very well, right?
So that means it's something else that she's doing, probably.
No, not necessarily. No.
Okay.
Well, you've opened up Pandora's.
The fact that she alternates, maybe it helps her have more air.
You've opened up
singing.
You've opened up Pandora's box a little bit. So we've talked about this before, but the false chord fried dichotomy is awful. It's awful terminology that is not very useful. Most of the time, what we're talking about when we talk about screams that are like fully developed, like full-fledged screams, and terms that I've used before are fry forward or false chord forward. A lot of the time we're talking about is screams that are combinations of things, right? For example, when I do like a false chord scream, a very traditional false chord scream, right? Yeah, the false chords are in there doing something, but all the other tissues are doing things too. So when you talk about a scream, if you're like, that's a fry scream, and you leave it there, it's like, well, what's the balance? What are her vocal cords more thin? Are they more thick? Does she have extra arytenoid rattle going on in there, or is there less? Is this a fry scream that's building on creak, or is it a fry scream that's building on pressure? Right? So that false chord fry dichotomy is less useful. And then also a thing that makes it kind of interesting is that, sometimes if you're really plugged into the metal world, you will have run across this before. You'll see somebody say how to scream like the guy from Knocked Loose, Brian Garris. And they'll start with a fry tone and then move into a Brian Garris sounding scream that's really accurate. And then you'll see another guy and he'll say how to scream like Brian Garris. And he starts with a false chord tone and he moves into a scream that sounds pretty damn close to Brian Garris. So there are a lot of roads that can lead to certain screams because they're balances of multiple things happening. So that's the Pandora's box you've opened. If she does have a slightly different balance, does that take her away from fry screaming into different territory? Or is she still in fry screaming? Or is she in false chord and moving away from false chord? Ask that question on Reddit. Get a lot of people mad.
Let's just ask her. Let's have her in an interview. That would be nice.
Have I tried? Let me tell you.
Have I tried?
That's a road I've given up on long ago. You know what I mean? But all right, let's keep going here.
Yeah. We're almost done.
Yeah, see, that's a really good example. Listen to that. This is an area where there's a definite shift in the distortion and in the shape of the vocal tract. The vocal tract, the distortion starts off really chunky, right? Sounds like she's just shouting. And then she lifts up and brightens, and you hear more of a creaking, crackly activation. That's a really smooth switch. Listen to that again. Will touch you when you die. Do you hear how at the top it has like that? A little bit of that.
Die one, yeah.
But below that, it's more, it's chunkier, but still bright and forward, right? Let's listen to that one more time. That was a sick transition. Very good. That ain't a false chord at all.
No, huh?
Yeah, that was literally like, right? But with a lot of that like crackle. Listen to that again. Yeah, she has really like grown vocally in the past even just like 3 to 4 years. Like she's hitting tones that you didn't really hear her hit in the same way. And it's interesting how we have like definite contrasts, but she maintains the character. Like again, that spot where she flipped into that more like fry based tone, but she started in that more false chord based tone. She still had the voicing. She still sounded like a person. She's not doing like these monstery screams where like there's no human element in them, which I love those.
And her I was like hitting my keyboard while she was singing. I like her pitch when she's on the clean voice. It's pretty high. Like it was around a B flat, so it's kind of in between her break. When you were talking about that flip, like a B flat for a girl, like she has a low voice, like so she's always like on the verge of flipping into head voice, but not. So maybe that's I don't know. I'm just trying to bounce on what you said earlier, like the flip could help her actually go from the scream to the clean and back to the scream. And it's so quick.
Yeah, it
that's
absolutely
really what impresses me. Yeah.
It absolutely does. I mean, one thing that I will often run into if I'm teaching somebody who's like heavily like classically trained, you know, they've spent years and years and years and years getting rid of the vocal break. Some techniques that are really easy for people who have no singing training are very difficult for those singers with like that classical training, because a lot of the way that we can get these really nasty distorted screams is utilizing that vocal break, right? So we have right, being in that space, and it can be very difficult for them to find that, right? So it's also interesting how like a lot of the times adding distortion can help make high notes a little bit easier, assuming that you're adding distortion in the right way. Like you can, like there are notes that are easier for me to hit if I sound like a demonic goblin than if I try to hit them clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, me in my clean singing lessons, I just try to get rid of all of this. But yeah, I could understand. Little note that I was surprised because she's so like, it sounds like it's tight in the throat to make the distortion, but her face is always like so relaxed. Like I was expecting her to maybe frown and like be like, but she's like that. Like, so that's kind of a, you know what I mean? Like I often say to my students, like your eyebrows are a reflection of what's happening in your throat.
Yeah.
So if you're like that, it's tight, you know? But she was like that.
So that there are techniques that build on that. She's not really doing any of that in this
No,
song.
that's what I mean. No. Yeah, it's not like that at all.
Yeah. You know how like, and a lot of people would say this is an oversimplification, but I think you'll know what I mean. Belting is just strategic shouting. A lot of the way that she screams is just strategic. And when I say just, people sometimes are like, oh, it's not just. Hold on, just wait. Is a lot of the way that she screams is built on strategic shouting with distortion. You know, so if you've ever been to a sports game where one of the fans gets a little too worked up and they're like, oh man, come on, are you fucking serious? He was safe, dude. No, fuck you. Right? Like, and that person's not trying to do distortion, and they're probably gonna be hurting the next day. Right. A lot of what we do is we do that, but in a way that's built on balance. That's built on. So we could make a similar sound as the fan at the sports game who's angry, but we could do it with a lot less effort and a lot less pressure. Actually, probably more relaxed than they are. So the sounds that we get now, there are some sounds that are pretty tight and squeezed, but those aren't.
That's not what she did.
Here.
Yeah, she really looked relaxed in her throat. Like I could see it in the face. Exactly. Another thing about stage presence, if I can add something, the first thing I said in my workshop, I think one of the first thing was where to place your feet. Okay, because sometimes singers, they're like a little like both feet next to each other, and I'm like, you're gonna fall. Like that's not solid at all. And you see her, she's so open, even a little wider than her hips, like Celine, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Yes.
Like a real Canadian she is. So, and that really helps the whole voice, like feeling that your feet are like, you are a tree, but you are also open and you're taking space. And like you were talking about the arms and everything, but yeah, that's what I noticed also. Just a quick tip for you out there that are going to perform in the near future. Try to open a bit. Yeah, just a quick note. You could really see that it was obvious and I liked it. But a relaxed face, even if it was all distortion, relaxed face.
You know, the feet placement is so important because I have this like anecdote where I can relate to what you're saying, and then that'll be kind of all I have. This will be a shorter video today, of course.
Yeah, it's okay.
But you know, I remember back when I was first performing, I would go back and watch recordings because, you know, sometimes somebody would take a video with their phone, and so I'd be like, oh, can you say that? And I'm going to mention myself, but say that I see this a lot in new vocalists with them, but doing what I call like toddler standing. Where your feet are really close together and your shoulders are kind of forward and they're just hanging there.
Yes.
You know, and it looks like the way my son stands. He's 3 when he's standing waiting for me to get his snack, and he's just like, you know, toddler stance. And so if you're like, the way you're standing really can undercut your performance. And you don't always have to stand, you know, but you got to stand in a way that looks like you want to be up there. And she certainly is like, what a ballsy move to like grab the camera and like shove it. Like if I was ever famous to be on that stage, which let's be real, that's not going to happen. Right. I would definitely not. I would never touch one of those cameras because one of those cameras is probably like more expensive than my life. So for her to just grab
but that was choreographed. How you say that? That was like, they knew. Because Slimane did the same thing last year. No, 2 years ago in Eurovision. So that reminded me of the Eurovision move, in 2024 by Slimane, the guy from France. Yeah. He was doing that a lot with the camera.
That makes sense.
Turning all over. So
I would still be scared. I would still be nervous. It's like when somebody like, well, now that I'm a dad, it wouldn't bother me. But before I had a kid, somebody'd be like, you want to hold the baby? And it's like, no, God, no. That's so much pressure. That's so much stress. No way. Do you want to hold this camera that probably costs more than your entire existence? No. But yeah, that's all I got. I think that was a great performance. I think that was pretty solid.
That was like, honestly, I don't listen usually to metal that has no singing in it, like no clean singing. And it was the first time it's actually catchy, even without a melody.
Yep.
Like there's a rhythmic pattern that is really nice. Ta 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 ta. I liked it. Like it's catchy. There's no pitch, but it's really nice. And also, I really appreciate that because there's no melody in the singing. There's actually a couple of nice hooks in the background, like melodies in the band. I really appreciate that. If you're not gonna give me a melody in the vocals, please give it to me with the guitar or something. Like, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, through Cardivox and making the videos that you've made, you found like symphonic metal. I would say now most metalcore is gonna have, and I wouldn't call Spiritbox strictly metalcore. If you disagree in the comments, let me know. I probably won't change my opinion, but you can leave a comment. Well, maybe I will. I don't know. But you should check out metalcore, because most metalcore bands, they'll have, even though most of the songs have singing, they'll have 1 or 2 songs on the album that are all screaming. And metalcore is a genre that, at least in its current state, one of the main things it tries to do is build hooks and more traditional song structure into the writing. So it'll have these moments where you can bob your head and where you find yourself like doing the riff or whispering like, and I'm terrified of falling asleep.
Okay.
So I think metalcore would be, if there was another metal genre that you wanted to look into, metalcore is a great one for just getting it's not like a lot of metal that I like that just sounds like somebody hitting a pan in a cave for 25 minutes. You know what I mean? It's not like that.
I mean, music is for everyone. We need all the styles, but like my favorite style is like disco. So that kind of gives you my idea of it needs to groove.
Yeah, and that's
bounce a bit.
Like, I wouldn't say that I've ever heard metalcore that sounds like disco, but what I would say is that both genres place heavy emphasis on groove and bounciness. There's a lot of like when you listen to disco, like you kind of want to do like this sort of move, right? That sort of bouncy thing. And when you listen to metalcore, it's like just put a little bit more head nod in the bounce, and there you go. Now you're listening to metalcore.
Send me some links, or in the comments, let me know what I should listen to.
Yes, in the comments, leave Veronna some metalcore tracks to listen to. But all right.
Yeah, but that was good. That was really one question, like, what do you like? At the beginning, the guy who presents the band, he said, "Let's like rock and roll," but that's not rock and roll.
No, like, it's not rock and roll at all. It is like,
I was like,
well,
is it just me or?
Veronna, I got to tell you something, and this is something that every metal vocalist and every metal musician who's watching this is going to relate to. I have spent decades with people saying like, "Oh, what kind of music do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, metal," and they're like, "Oh, like Metallica,
rock and roll." Yeah,
and you're like, you know what I do? I just do this. Yeah, kind of, because like a lot of times people get offended by that, but assuming the person is speaking in good faith. What I've always taken it as, they're trying to find a way to relate to you in a way that they understand. That's kind of cool. So when people, like when he called it rock and roll, not to sound demeaning, but I found it kind of cute.
Yeah, it was cute.
I was like,
but I was at the start, I was like, oh, you're not ready for what's going to happen.
Yeah. Like you like, homie, get ready. But I've done stuff like that before. So, so mote it be.
But that was cute. That was just like, what do you think? Is it just me? Or
yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
there you go.
That was great.
Grammy performance. Spiritbox. We both got work to do, so let's get back to it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's get back to it. And the comments, let us know what we should cover next for our next podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe more clean singing for me. A bit more.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna end a video without my sign off.
Oh.
Just kidding. Many thanks, much love. I'm out.
Bye.